We have breaking news. Israel says they received the bodies of 4 hostages as part of a ceasefire agreement. Red Cross officials say Hamas handed over 4 black coffins during a ceremony in the southern Gaza city of Khan Yunis. Israel and Hamas say the bodies include members of the Bibas family, but Israeli officials say they'll conduct forensic analysis to confirm their identities. ABC's Lama Hassan joins me live for more on that. Lama, Hamas says in a statement that it did, quote, everything in its power to keep the hostages alive, but that they were killed in Israeli airstrikes on Gaza. Israel is holding Hamas responsible for their deaths. So how are people in Israel reacting to this, and what's the latest on the return of these hostages?
Yeah, hey, Diane, look, as you can imagine, this has been a somber and emotional day in Israel. We saw people gathering in Hostage Square carrying the Israeli flag. Some were standing in silence, some were crying, others just quietly mourning the hostages' deaths. You'll remember that those haunting images of Shiri Bibas looking terrified, clutching her 2 sons, they were one of the most recognizable families that were taken hostage, and they really became the symbol for Israelis who were feeling helpless and angry at what happened on October 7th. They were taken hostage with the father, Shiri's husband, Yarden, from kibbutz near Oz. He was released alive earlier this month, and I think that people in Israel were holding on to hope that Shiri and her 2 children were still alive, that they somehow survived. The 4th hostage, however, has been identified by Hamas as 84-year-old Oded Lifshitz. He's a well-known journalist. He's a peace activist. He used to drive to the Erez border crossing on the northern edge of the Gaza Strip once a week to ferry Palestinians to medical appointments in Israel. Now, as for their return, we understand that their bodies will be undergoing forensic testing, as you said, for formal identification. Israel will only confirm their return once forensic tests have been completed, Diane.
And Lama, 6 other hostages are expected to be released on Saturday. 4 more bodies also returned to Israel next week. What are you watching for as this plays out?
So, Diane, we're still in phase 1 of the ceasefire deal. Hamas will release 6 more living hostages this Saturday in return for hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. And then the following week, in fact, a week from today, Hamas is due to return the bodies of 4 other hostages. Phase 1 is due to end next weekend, March 2nd. And talks about phase 2 were supposed to start just over 2 weeks ago, but we understand that they should start negotiations soon. Look, as we've seen, this is a tenuous deal. I think we'll be looking at both sides, Israel and Hamas, sticking to the deal and making sure that there aren't any issues with this phase. And by the way, phase 2 is when a permanent ceasefire should be established. Diane.
Lama Hassan, thank you.